The pasuk says, "Hine anochi shaleach malach lefanecha." Hashem says, "I'm going to be sending an angel in front of you to take you into Eretz Yisrael, laviacha, to bring you el hamokim, to the place asher hachinoisi, that I have prepared." Rashi on the words asher hachinoisi, that I have prepared, says asher zimanti laseis lochem, which for now will translate that I have prepared to give to you. What is Rashi telling us? So the Mefarshim say, since in the pasuk it doesn't say, when it says asher hachinoisi, that I have prepared, it doesn't say for whom Hashem had prepared it. So Rashi is saying asher zimanti, that I have prepared it, laseis lochem, to give to you, to the Jewish people. But, says the Rebbe, the problem is, according to Pshat, there doesn't seem to be any question. This should be very, very obvious. That's what the pasuk is speaking about. The Yidden coming into Eretz Yisrael. Obviously, it means that I prepared it for the Bnei Yisrael. Number two, why can't Rashi just say simply on the words Asher Hachinoisi? All he has to do is add one word, the word Lochem, for you. So why is Rashi adding all these extra words? Asher Zimanti Loseis Lochem. And furthermore, why is Rashi changing from the wording of the pasuk from Hachinoisi to the word Zimanti? Now Rashi goes on and says, all of this is the simple meaning of the words Asher of this pasuk. The Medrash says, El hamokoim asher hachinoisi. What does this mean? That kvar makoimi, my place is already recognizable opposite it. Meaning to say, Rashi goes on to say that this is one of the psukim that teaches us, that tell us that the Beis HaMikdash up above corresponds to the Beis HaMikdash down below. The Rebbe says the truth of the matter is, according to this Pirush, the words El Hamokim Asher Hachinoisi actually seem to be more understood. The pasuk says El Hamokim, to the place that I have prepared, not the land that I have prepared, because we're not speaking about all of Eretz Yisrael. We're speaking about a particular place. We're speaking about the Beis HaMikdash. So that's fine. But what we need to understand is, why does Rashi need to add these words? This is one of the psukim that tell us that the Beis HaMikdash up above corresponds to the Beis HaMikdash down below. Why is it relevant over here to know that there are other psukim like this as well? In fact, Rashi brought this point already twice earlier on in Chumash, and Rashi there does not tell us that there are other psukim like this as well. Some other diyukim in Rashi that we need to understand. Rashi's source of this for this medrash is in the Tanchuma. There it says the other way around. There it says that the Beis HaMikdash down here below corresponds, is aligned to the Beis HaMikdash up above. Why does Rashi change the order? Another question that Rebbe has is that in one of the versions of Rashi, there it just says that the Beis HaMikdash Shalamayla Mechuvan is aligned to that, to down here below. It doesn't use the words to the Beis HaMikdash down here below. According to this gear, so why does Rashi omit those words, the Beis HaMikdash down below? Says the Rebbe, the explanation is, Rashi was bothered by a very, very simple question. The pasuk says, I'm bringing you to the place that I have prepared. Now, usually when you prepare something, when you get something ready, means that there's now going to be some sort of noticeable change in the item that you have prepared. Now it's ready and prepared for whatever it is that you prepared it for. So the question in our case is, Hashem is saying, I'm going to bring you to the place that I have prepared. Seemingly we're speaking about Eretz Yisrael. In what way is Eretz Yisrael now more ready and prepared to receive the Bnei Yisrael than it was before? Seemingly nothing has changed in Eretz Yisrael. On the contrary, if you look through the psukim over here, the point the psukim are discussing is Eretz Yisrael is clearly not ready for the Yidden. There are still the 7 nations living over there who need to be chased out of Eretz Yisrael, who need to be eliminated. This is still going to be taking some time. So what does it mean, Asher Achinoisi, the place that I have prepared for you? And this is why Rashi in his first Pirush translates Asher Achinoisi differently. He says Asher Zimanti. What does Asher Zimanti mean? Rashi is trying to tell us that it's not the regular meaning of Hachana, of preparation, as in other cases. Asher Zimanti is more a matter of that Hashem has designated it for the Bnei Yisrael. He planned to give it to the Bnei Yisrael. Or as the Rebbe says, the word Hazmana could also be related to the idea of an invitation. What happens when you invite a guest somewhere? Nothing happened yet, you just informed him something is going to be taking place. So too Hashem has decided, He has designated that Eretz Yisrael will be given to the Bnei Yisrael. That's the pshat in our pasuk, Asher Hachinoisi. What's the problem with this pirush? Says the Rebbe, because since after all, usually Asher Achinoisi actually means getting something ready, preparing something, and something is changing. Therefore, Rashi wants to bring a second pshat and says, you know what? Something did actually change. According to the Medrash, something was prepared, was ready, but not down here, but rather up above. Kvar mekoimi nikar kenegdoi. Up above there's something noticeable already. There's a Beis HaMikdash up above. And that's in fact why Rashi says it in this order, which we asked before. Why does Rashi start with the Beis HaMikdash Shalamayla? Opposite of the way it says it in the Medrash, because the focus Rashi is actually speaking about is that the Pu'ula, that act of Achon, of preparation, was in fact only in the Beis HaMikdash up above. The Rebbe is still not completely satisfied. In other words, the Rebbe is about to say what Rashi is really not completely satisfied, and that's why Rashi is going to add some more words. And that is, because after all, you could still ask, how does it make sense that there's a Beis HaMikdash up above and it doesn't have any impact down here below at all? Seemingly, if there's a Beis HaMikdash up above, if Hashem prepared something above, there should have been something noticeable down here below as well. Says the Rebbe, this is why Rashi adds, this is just one of the psukim that tell us this idea, that there's a Beis HaMikdash up above corresponding to the Beis HaMikdash down below. So it's not as if this is something that just happened now and therefore we have to search and look, what changed now in Eretz Yisrael? This is something that always existed. Hashem had all the way from the beginning of time already had made the Beis HaMikdash up above. And therefore there's nothing to look now for which change happened in Eretz Yisrael right now. According to this, says the Rebbe, will also understand that other version of Rashi, where Rashi says the Beis HaMikdash Shel Maila is aligned and corresponds with Shel Mata, doesn't even mention the point of the Beis HaMikdash, to emphasize this idea that the fact that the Beis HaMikdash is prepared up above is in fact not connected to what's happening down here in this world. This Beis HaMikdash exists up above even when there's no Beis HaMikdash down here below. And there are goyim in it, etc., etc. Finally, the Rebbe concludes with a matter of halacha that can be taken from this Rashi in a very interesting way. There's machlokes in the Gemara. If hazmona milsi, if you just designate something for a particular use, whether that has any validity, whether it counts for anything. It's relevant to many in Yonim of halacha. Abaye says hazmona milsi. Rava says hazmona, just designating something for something else, is not considered anything at all. So we're discussing now the opinion of Abaye, and as the Rebbe points out, it can also be sometimes relevant even according to Rava. So the question is like this: if we designate something to say hazmona, is that only if I did at least some sort of act in the matter to get it ready for something? Or is it even if I just said something, only bedibur, I only designated it with my mouth? Says the Rebbe, here we'll have the difference between these two pirushim and Rashi. According to Rashi's first pirush, which translates the words Asher Hachi Noisi, that Hashem says, I prepared Eretz Yisrael. But Rashi says Asher Zimanti Lasis Lachem, which means I only designated to give it to you. In other words, there was no act yet at all. That would imply that hazmana, designating something, even just bedibur, even just verbally, even just saying that it's prepared for something, is already considered an important inyan of hazmana, of designation. Whereas, according to the Medrash, the second pirush of Rashi, which says that even hachinoisi means that there was a certain act done already. Yes, in the Beis HaMikdash Shalamayla, but there is an actual thing being done. According to this, it would make sense to say that if you just said something just bedibur, but there was no act at all, then that would not be considered a proper designation yet.